the case of Nora.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to speak about that in relation to the last day of the Amherst training when Moshe was developing a sense of the wider perspective.
Yes. So the case of Nora, I still read it over and over again. And each time I pick it up, it's brand new. And the reason why not only did I read it was people used to say to me, who do you specialize seeing? And I went, I work with people. I don't work on them. I work with them. I create rapport. Everything that my mentors have shared, you have to be the most comfortable in being in the unknown. How to sit there and how to breathe and be present with someone. One of my mentors, David Samach Burson, I've studied with him for 18 years now. He basically would say, read the case of Nora. To understand not what to do, but how to think. How did he come up with these strategies? And so the case of Nora is listening through reading and thinking about how did he strategize? How did he suss out this was a potent brain? And other people would look at her and think she didn't have a stroke, yet something in her brain was not making the synaptic bridge connections. How did he figure that out? Because as he said, those of us that have trained and studied, he became a finer tuning measuring instrument. Think of a safecracker. Their job is to quiet themselves so as they're turning the dial of the safe, figuring how to break into it, they can hear the minutia of the tiniest little that they caught it when they didn't know what the combination was. They sussed it out because they fine-tuned their auditory and tactile sensations. So we become finer tuning measuring instruments so that we can feel where our client or our student, what we're witnessing, they don't feel that. And I don't know, Katarina, if you've had this or those that are working, have you ever had a client go, how did you know right where to go? You showed me.
That's why I asked you. We're so interested in the case of Nora, where he
Yeah.
thinks of 6 variations.
Yes.
There's an obstacle, a diffusion,
Yep.
a damping, a deviation,
Yep.
a loss of impetus, a break of continuity,
Yep.
or an impossibility of one of the transformations.
Yeah.
So these 6 ways of almost avenues or aspects, we'd love for you to talk a little about them.
So I often speak about we are discerning and distinguishing differences. How he was able to discern where his entranceway is or was with Nora. How he sussed out it had to do in the movements of her eyes. They weren't tracking. And then how he realized to use that pencil in her mouth so he could distinguish directing where her eyes focused to a book because she was intelligent. Each one of these ways that we are discerning a difference, distinguishing what is it, subtle but significant, and start to play with it. And we have to be willing to fail, not know, and regroup and try another strategy. That's the one thing with Feldenkrais. It's not like the PT medical model where you can replicate exactly, do this every time, you're going to get the same effect because we're different. So to be present as he was with Nora, to find the distinctions and how long to play with it before she fatigued.